Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
Hello there, this is Alan Collins, and you're listening to the
STONED Roadie Show. The STONED Roadie Show, podcast 333. Take one, roll one, and burn one down. Roll them if you got them. Hey there, welcome there, fellow Earthlings who have tuned into the STONED Roadie dimension. Looky here. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the STONED Roadie, and as you can see, I'm doing a solo flight here today on this particular episode of the STONED Roadie Show. You know what day this is today. This is October 20th, 2025, so it's the 48th anniversary of the legendary Lynyrd Skynyrd airplane crash. So, I think we ought to take a moment just to ponder that question I've heard so many times. Like, wonder what would have happened with this band had the plane not crashed and Ronnie and Steve not been killed. And, at first, we want to recognize the other deceased members of the plane. There's Ronnie, Steve, Cassie, Dean, and Walter McCurry, and William Gray. And, so I think we ought to just take a minute to ponder. And, the question I've heard so many times, I wonder what would have happened to the music that Steve and Ronnie would have wrote if this tragedy wouldn't have happened, and what would have happened to all of us that have survived this predicament we've been thrown into. So let's just take a moment and ponder that. I don't know about you, but I do my best pondering when I got a little buzz going. So let's just take a moment of silence here, and you can ponder this any way you choose, or you can go to the kitchen, make yourself a sandwich in the next 60 seconds there. Over. I don't think that's a whole minute, but I won't bore you with my ridiculous notions, But whatever. But anyways, hey, yeah, Griff. Well, first off here, let's get into. I think last week I mentioned that Carter Clemens sent in $1,000 for Artimus, but Artimus didn't want it. And I think might have mentioned Smokey, Mary Smokey, Carter Clemens sent in $1,000 for Artimus, and I was gonna just send it back to him, but he said, "Oh, au contraire, oh mon frere." He said, "You just take that 1,000 and put it toward split it 5 ways. So that's 200 apiece. So thank you so much, Carter. He's donated a few times before. He donated in the first go around. Carter's a real cool guy. And Mary Smokey, she donated $50 along with Carter Clemens last week, and appreciate that, Mary. And then Sam Martello, sorry, Sam. Samuel Martello. Yeah, he lives about 40 miles north of me in Ashtabula, I think it was. And he called me. He heard about our donation thing, and he was kind of surprised that somebody that was on that airplane lived so close to him, and because he said he's been a fan of Lynyrd Skynyrd his whole life, and he'd like to show his gratitude in any way, shape, or form he could. So he thought supporting forgotten survivors was a good idea. So so there's with the money left over from the last round. And then Sam Martello gave $1,000, and then we had the $1,000 that was left over. That's $2,000, and then Carter Clemens donated $1,000. That's $3,000, and Mary Smokey donated $50. That's $3,050. So that's $610 a piece for each one of them. They all get the same amount. So yeah. So then Griff took that baseball jersey that someone gave him, and he put it in a shadow box. God, I'm stoned. And he put it in a shadow box, and he took it, and they had a drawing. He's out there at the monument. That's why he's not out there with me. Kathy, guys, we're going to do a thing on Saturday before the Halloween, which I think is going to be on the 25th or 27th. I don't know what Saturday is, but yeah, we're going to do that one. And she has already told me that she was going to ask a bunch of questions that me and Griff hadn't been answering, because we get on there and jabber about nonsense and forget to answer your questions. Sometimes she said there's a lot of questions that we've skipped over, so she's gonna go over those. So I'm not gonna really get into a lot of questions, but I got some other stuff to talk about. And then Griff put together, because he knew I was going to do this, and he said if I didn't have a lot of material, he put together a thing of him in 1998 when he was with NASA, and he was working with the crawler, and they're doing a crawler move to the shuttle. So it's there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's about 40 minutes. So yeah, we're going to put that at the end of this. So, okay, I'll quit jabbering here about all this stuff, but just kind of let you know what's coming up. But, Griff made those shadow boxes, and a couple of them, and Jamie Wall won one of those shadow boxes out there. And he's the one that took the axe. This is odd. he's the one that took the axe to the plane and pulled Mark Howard out. He's like the first one that was there, Jamie Wall. Yeah, he was like the first survivor there, and he won one of the shadow boxes. And then James Hughes, well, he has sent me some. Oh, matter of fact, I think I might have got I got my piece of the airplane on my thing. Mark Frank gave me this, and I think he got it off of James Hughes. But he won the other shadow box. And then the jersey, he said, was a funny story. Guy pulled up on a motorcycle and was looking at the jersey. He said, and it's in a shadow box, so he didn't have no way to carry it on the motorcycle. And that's what he told Griff. He said, I'd I would put in the drawing, but I don't have no way to carry it. And Griff said, well, that means you'll win. He said, and if you win, just take the jersey out of the shadow box and just put the jersey in your saddle bag. And the guy goes, okay. So the tickets were only $2, you know. Griff said a lot of people bought 20, 30 tickets, you know, and all that money goes to the survivors. All the money for those shadow boxes that for this one. Well, they were in drawings. I guess they all were, but yeah, it was $2 a ticket, and I don't know how he did it, but anyways, yeah. So what's his name? Ken Blanchard won that, and he only bought one ticket. Other people bought like 20 or 30. He pulled up on a motorcycle that he couldn't carry it on, but apparently he lives near somebody that's there, and they're going to carry it home for him. So that worked out good. Yeah, but all this money for and Mitch Scooby bought 5 of Gene's new book. Gene just wrote a new book. It's a limited edition, and he's only selling 50 of them. From what I heard, he's only going to sell 50 of his new book. And Mitch Scooby bought 5 of them, and he's donating them to the Stoned Roadie show for us to auction off. So we're going to have 5 of Gene's books that we're going to auction off here on the Stoned Roadie show. And then that money will go to the survivors. Isn't that pretty cool? And then Heather Langley, I guess, donated a couple pieces of jewelry. So that's that's pretty cool. Thank you, Heather, and thank you, Mitch. Mitch actually called me and asked me. He's a pilot, and he's got his own plane. He's got a Beechcraft Baron, and he flew down there, and he asked him if he wanted me to come up and pick me up and fly me down there. He said I could even bring my dogs, but he could only fly me down there, and then I'd have to find a way to get my dogs. And my dogs are a pain in the butt. I didn't want to take them down there, and then I don't know. And then I had other stuff going on. I had an unexpected guest showed up that just left this morning, and I had to drive them all the way over to Pennsylvania to take them home. I've been on the road all day. It's Sunday night, so this goes up Monday morning, but I still gotta edit it, and I'm not very good at editing and things, so I'm kind of getting a late start. Of course, I got, and so anyways, so yeah, so Griff, he was headed back to the hotel. He was going to have dinner with Mitch and Catfish, who works with AC/DC, and Griff said, "You remember Catfish?" And I said, "No," and Griff said, "Well, he remembers you." I said, "Well, I've worked with them guys, but I guess he's a stage manager, but I can't remember all these people. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. But I guess they're going to have a bonfire out there tonight." So he said he's taking a lot of video, and they're going to have a bonfire out there tonight, and he's going to go back out there tonight. But he's got to leave. He's going to leave tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow, yeah, well, that's today. today's Monday. This is Monday morning. I'm forgetting. This is the Wake and Bake Morning Buzz Monday morning. Yeah. This is Monday morning. Tonight at 6:52 Central Daylight Time. That was the time of the plane crash. 6:52. That's Central Time. So they're going to have a candlelight vigil down there sometime around that time. So yeah. So Griff's leaving today. And what else I got written down here? Oh God, that's about it. So like I said, me and Kathy Ghazi's gonna do a Saturday thing. So I was gonna go over a bunch of questions. That's all I would have, and I don't want to ruin what she's already got something put together. She's already got questions, so I don't want to step on what she's got to do. But like I said, there's a 40-minute video of Griff when he had a crew and he was filming all these guys in their job and stuff, and it's kind of funny. And they're moving the crawler. That crawler moves slow. That's why it's a 40-minute video. So, anyways, yeah. So, I was going to make this a short one. So, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for Griff's moving the crawler video. See you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile, and we'll call that a wrap. We're out of here. Cut.